was 18 years old, dressed in full scouting regalia, standing in a small room inside the local Boy Scouts of America office, preparing to receive my Eagle Scout award. The ceremony was merely a formality. My service project had been completed months before, and the paperwork had all been submitted, although at the last possible moment. Like so many ceremonial occasions I have participated in over the years, this one seemed to be mostly for the benefit of my parents, something to give them proof that they hadn't screwed up too bad in raising me. For what it's worth, I always thought they did a pretty decent job of parenting, but as I've listened to other people's stories of their childhood upbringings over the years, I've come to feel that my parents in fact did a stellar job of parenting my sister and I. They have truly been a blessing in my life. Despite the inconsequential nature of the occasion, my heart was pounding in my chest as though I had just come from 90 minutes of playing soccer. I stood there in that tiny office, my right hand raised in three-fingered Boy Scout salute, reciting the oath, the law, and the motto. I felt like the world's biggest hypocrite, and I was sure that everyone could tell. I almost choked on the words. And do my duty to God and my country. God? Do my duty to God? Who was I kidding? I didn't believe in God. Technically, I was an agnostic, but definitely an atheist-leaning one. I had said these very words hundreds, perhaps thousands of times before, and yet, for some reason, it was not until that moment, as I was about to receive the highest rank achievable in scouting, that the hypocrisy of my reciting those words without true belief and the injustice of my being made to pretend that I believed them really affected me. My non-standard and definitely non-Christian belief system was no secret to my parents or anyone else who knew me. Still, in order to receive recognition for my achievements, though in truth they were not much, I was made to say things I did not believe and to keep my mouth shut about what I did believe. In reality, of course, I had not been forced to do anything. I could very well have refused to recite the oath that I found so offensive, and no one would have tried to force me. But I knuckled under, gritted my teeth, and said the things that I did not believe. I don't know what would have happened if I had refused. I suppose, in the worst-case scenario, that I could have been denied my badge on the grounds that the Boy Scouts is a Christian organization. My parents would have been crushed, and certainly I would have felt rather foolish later in life when the divine showed itself to me and I ceased to have problems using the word God. Had I been a bit wiser, instead of feeling like a hypocrite for having done violence to my sense of intellectual integrity, I would have just said to myself, "When in Rome." What I understand now, but didn't then, is that both the viewpoint which holds that God exists and that one has a duty to her, and the viewpoint which holds that God does not exist, are, in actuality, two different maps of the same territory. Neither of them is incorrect, despite their apparent disagreement over a basic feature of reality. Rather, they are showing, as it were, different features of the same landscape. If I have a map showing the highway system in Guatemala, and you have a map showing Guatemala's electrical grid system, we might end up arguing over which one of us has the correct map, and whether the lines on my map or the ones on yours are in the correct place. Of course, if we went to Guatemala, we would find out that both of our maps are correct as far as they go, and that they simply show different aspects of the same reality, which itself is far beyond the ability of any map to communicate in toto. My map of Guatemala and yours are both correct, and yet both are incorrect, insofar as they neglect large, important parts of the territory which they map. Most disagreements over belief systems come down to this: arguing over whether my map or yours has its lines in the proper place, neither of us having ever been to the country in question, and neither having a clear idea as to what the lines even indicate, or even a clear idea about the difference between a map and a territory. By the age of 18, I had formed a map of reality that did not include any area or feature marked God. Where the maps of other people bore that label, mine displayed only a question mark, terra incognita. And while at the time I believed that my map of reality was the only rational one, I now feel that theistic, agnostic, and atheistic viewpoints are simply different lenses through which to view reality, each one showing a different aspect of the whole, but none of them reflecting that whole in its entirety. I have come to the conclusion that a mature understanding of the world in which we find ourselves requires a kind of model agnosticism, a pragmatic flexibility of belief system, being able to accept the wisdom of each perspective without becoming trapped in any one of them and mistaking that one particular map for the whole of reality. As the Arabs say, praise Allah and tie your camel to the post.